This might be the greatest comeback I have ever had in the time that I've played MX bikes. What is up, everybody? It is Rodak here with Rodak's Revival, and we are back with another video today. And this one is gonna be a little bit fun because we are jumping on the two-stroke and we are racing the CCRL sponsored AM Nationals. And this one is at the Texas Spring Championship, also known as Freestone. But like I said, go grab that popcorn and get ready to lock in for a great race because I made so many mistakes, those of which I will go through even when it comes down to my bike and the setup, because I made a huge mistake and it cost me a lot, but we were able to figure it out. And I think that's what makes this video super cool, is because you actually get to see me figure it out on the fly. It is a 12-minute plus 1 lap race. Don't have a lot of time to get stuff done. And yeah, the way that I evolved and just learned the bike and the track as it broke down was just super cool to see, to go back and watch. So enjoy this. And if you guys want to watch Moto number 2, it is on the Patreon. It is a Patreon exclusive. There's gonna be a bunch of videos that don't see YouTube that are on that Patreon right now. There are 3 different tiers if you wanna go check that out. The link will be down in the description, but let me quit yapping and let's jump into Moto number 1 here at the CCRL AM National Championship. All right, so here we are for Moto number 1, and like I said, I will go into why I really made a big mistake, just a stupid mistake, and it's actually gonna be even pretty funny, but it's Moto number 1. We wanna start this series off with a bang. Round 1, Moto 1, let's get a good start. Who am I kidding? It is me. I always get taken out on the start. We are in dead last, 30 feet into the race. And just watch this just transpire right here. I come out of here, I loop it out, I go over the bars, and I'm like, something just feels weird about the bike. It just doesn't feel like it did when I was in testing. Now, I did about 30 minutes of testing, and I was like, man, the bike just feels weird. When I'm going into the corners, it feels like it's reacting super weird, and it doesn't want to do what I want it to do. And you'll see right here, it just all kind of goes downhill. It loops out right there, which was super weird. Then I'm stuck on this hill. Then I'm gonna get hit and I go down again. And then I get over this hill and then I'm gonna loop out again. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Why does the bike feel so weird? It doesn't feel like it did when I was in testing, like at all. And then that guy's gonna like run me wide. But I didn't know what was going on yet at this point, and I'll tell you the exact moment when I do know what was happening. And then right here, the bike just acts weird, and right here is where I kind of realized like something's definitely up. So that whole first lap after that series of crashes that I had, I was just like, man, what is going on? And then it hit me. Now, I have this model swap on. This is not an actual Suzuki. This is actually a Husqvarna that you see in this race. But I also use this model swap for the KTM, and I ride the KTM 250 and 450 pretty much exclusively on sand tracks. So I had never ridden the Husky 2-stroke before or anything, but I threw this model swap on there because I thought it looked cooler. And that's when it hit me, is because I have an SPX paid suspension for the Husky 2-stroke, and I bought it a while back just because I was doing a 2-stroke race and I just wanted to jump on something. So I bought an SPX setup, and that's what I used in testing. But when I was in the pre-race lobby, I was like, oh wait, I have this KTM suspension that somebody had given me that is super good. I'll throw that on there. And that's where it screwed me, because in my head, I was like, yeah, I'm on this Suzuki model swap. That means I'm on the KTM. But nope, I'm on the Husky with the setup that really only ever works for the KTM that I've used. And now that's why my bike is reacting so weird, because I have this crazy KTM setup on a Husky. And that's when, and like midway through the second lap is when it hit me. I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to ride timid and try to just figure this out. And that's why I said it was kind of fun to go back and look at this, because you can actively see me like have to figure out the bike while trying to figure out a track that we're all racing for the first time, breaking down. So I thought it was pretty cool to see it from that perspective. But yeah, you're gonna see me make some more mistakes here and there because the bike is just reacting in no way, shape, or form that I thought it would in some areas. But then you see me like figure it out and lock in. So yeah, like I said, just enjoy. So 2 laps into the race, we've made some pretty good progress. We are up to 12th. Even with everything that has happened, we're up to 12th. Not the start we wanted because I knew I could be running further up there, but we're up to 12th and I'll take that. And then I make this dumb mistake right here, hit the tough block, and after this update, the bike just seems to have 1 pound of weight to it whenever you crash and bounces a million times. And then I get these weird janky physics right here, and I go down again. So all those positions I made up, all that catching up I did on the first 2 laps, I'm down 3 times in a matter of 15 seconds, and it's all back down the drain. It is time to lock in. But that bike was acting weird. It took me like another lap or so, but you're gonna see me slowly start to figure it out right here, and then we seriously lock in and we make a run here at the end. That was my teammate. I didn't want to just punt him, so I went off the track. Good teammate right there. So didn't want to punt anybody. Now you're gonna see me go off the track up here, and it was genuinely because I'm laughing. So the bike that's right in front of me is my teammate. And watch what happens to him when we go into this corner. He hits the brakes and just goes full endo, and I actually started laughing, and that's why I went off the track right there. And it's funny seeing it back over again. That was Sporky, I love you, man. That was so funny. Now right here, after 3 times of going to that outside and messing it up, I'm like, I'm never hitting that outside line again. I just can't hit it. Then I go off the track right here because the bike just seems to want to turn so weird compared to what I was used to after doing, like I said, 30, 45 minutes in testing. The bike is now turning completely differently compared to how it was that I got used to. So, oh man, we're already like 3.5 laps in. Like I said, it was only a 12-minute plus 1 lap race. We're probably already 5 minutes in, if not even more. So I'm like, I am running out of time. I hate for the first race of the series to go down like this. This corner was also messing me up every time. The bike just did not want to turn in those braking bumps, and you see me start making adjustments throughout the race. I'm gonna keep repeating that, but it's so fun to go back and look at this and see yourself like, man, 6 months ago, I would have been struggling on this track with the skill level I was at and everything, and struggling with a bike setup that just doesn't want to work for the bike that it's on. And to see me figure it out now, it's really cool to watch. I'm kind of glazing myself, but it is what it is. You gotta be your #1 fan, right? All right, you see the pit board? We have 4 minutes left. We're in P13. Leave it down in the comments. What do you think I actually get to in this race? Do you think I get inside the top 10, right outside the top 10? Where do you think I finish? Now look at this guy. I was already in that line, but look at him just fly. He just skipped that whole jump. I hate when people do that. Like, bro, just take your L. You went off the side of the track. Like, you know, just get back on. And like, why are you? We're battling for 13th place. Why are you cutting the track? I don't understand why people just skip jumps and just full on send it to try to get back in front of you. Now you can really tell in this lap that I've started to figure out how the bike is going to react in certain situations, but also for only being a 12-minute plus 1 lap race, this track is already destroyed. I don't know what they had the E-Road set at, but it was destroyed. It was so rough, it was so bumpy, but you know, the tougher the track, a lot of the times with the rougher the track gets, the more these people start to drop back, and that only helps me out because the rougher the track gets and the more it slows down, the better I get, because I just do not have this speed to just hold it wide open with these guys. So with that pass right there, that should put us into the top 10, but I see some people still up ahead. We can get some more out of this. But isn't it so crazy though, like how much better you can get at a game just by doing a few laps, getting into a flow. But like the past 2 laps compared to my first 2 laps have just been absolutely insane. And it's just, I like I said, I'm glazing myself a little bit here, but it's just so fun to watch yourself progressing in anything that you do. So if you're looking at timing and scoring over there on the left, we are actually in 9th now. Someone must have went off the track, and so I'm like, all right, man. At this point, I had no idea. I stopped looking at all that stuff after like lap 2 or 3 because I was just locked in trying to catch back up because I knew I was better than what I was performing at, and I was also trying to mentally do the math in my head in gymnastics of how, you know, I'm making this many mistakes, and I go in there and make another mistake again. But yeah, I stopped looking at all the timing and scoring and stuff and seeing how far everybody was behind, what kind of laps I was running. I was just trying to just pass every single person that I could. So as we're coming up to the wall jump one more time, this was actually the final lap. And like I said, at this point, I still don't know what place I'm in, but watch when we go over the finish line. The bottom left, you're gonna see what place I finish. I actually come across the line in 7th because the 2 guys in front of me had cuts. So I actually come through in 7th. So like I said, to put it all in perspective, I put myself on the worst suspension ever for a bike that it did not work on. I was dead last at least probably 3 minutes into the race. The race was only, we were running about 2-minute lap times. The race was probably only 14 minutes long. 5 minutes in, I'm still outside the top 15 and still come back for a 7th in Moto number 1. So that is probably one of my best comebacks, if not the best comeback I've ever had in MX bikes. So much fun when you catch that flow just a little bit. It is so much fun when you just start passing people and you get so much more confidence and you start flowing around the track. But super fun race. Like I said, if you guys want to check out the full Moto 2 uncut, it is on my Patreon. Like I said, that link is down in the description. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit that like button and that subscribe button if you did. I would really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.